close to home. Stay tuned for the Splash Live. It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the Greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host, Tyler Keefe, thanking you for joining us on an exciting day all across Greater West Bloomfield. So much to get into, but arguably the biggest story in town right now are our very successful basketball teams. The West Bloomfield High School girls varsity basketball team qualifying for the state quarterfinals that they'll be playing next week, Tuesday, March 18th at Callahan Hall on the campus of University of Detroit Mercy. But before that happens, we have a potential state champion alert in Orchard Lake Village. That is Orchard Lake St. Mary's looking to defend their 2024 MHSAA state championship in Division I basketball at the Breslin Student Events Center on the campus of Michigan State University. Civic Center TV's Kevin McIntosh is at the Breslin live as we get ready for today's big state semifinal. Kevin.
Thank you so much, Tyler. Yes, I am live here at the Breslin Center in East Lansing for the MHSAA state semifinals that's happening today. We are ready for the battle on the court. The court is being clean, ready, and prepared for our showdown with East Lansing taking on our very own Orchard Lake St. Mary's in the semifinals. Now, these two have played before, as a matter of fact. They played earlier this year at the Gotta Get It Hoop Classic in East Kentwood, where East Lansing did walk away with the victory by 1 point, 69-68. And this was back in January, Tyler. So Orchard Lake St. Mary's has a lot to play for, ready to get their get back today. And as a matter of fact, like I said, they will be playing today at noon, East Lansing versus Orchard Lake St. Mary's. Now, a few things that's interesting about this. Orchard Lake St. Mary's on an 11-game win streak right now, have not lost for a while as of right now. And East Lansing is currently 26-1, only lost one game this year, and that was December 21st against Muskegon, which went to overtime too. So we're looking for a very, very interesting battle between these two in the semifinals. And the winner of this game will play either Wayne Memorial or Flint Carmen Ainsworth in the finals. That'll be tomorrow. And just a quick note is also, Tyler, Orchard Lake St. Mary's, they did beat Wayne Memorial earlier this season, December 29th at the North Farmington Holiday Classic, 62-48. So all favors going to Orchard Lake St. Mary's, especially on this end. And as we get ready for that game, we'll keep you updated with that game coverage and post-game coverage right here on Civic Center TV. You, Tyler.
Yeah, Kevin, we'll keep you there for just a moment because this is familiar territory for Orchard Lake St. Mary's. The benefit that they have is they've been on this stage before. They know what it takes to come into East Lansing, to see that basketball environment in March, to have the pressure of chasing a title. They got rid of that pressure. Their upperclassmen have won a state championship. They're just trying to recreate that magic from 2024 in 2025. And what's even more interesting is we've got our team close to home in the Eagles Triplets going out to the Breslin Center today for the state semifinal, playing a team very close to home, just a couple miles away, that calls 509 Bircham Drive their home stadium at East Lansing High School. So there's a lot of really interesting storylines we're going to be unpicking there, Kevin. I'm excited for our coverage out there, but it's a really special environment for high school basketball, these championship weekends when everybody sort of coalesces in the middle of our state to celebrate these incredible athletes.
Yes, and I had a little bit of time to do a little bit of digging, a little bit of research. Also, they are looking to make some history, too, be the first Division I state champions in Michigan, at least since the Clarkston Wolves did it, I believe, in 2018, 2017, or something like that. So they're looking to make history. They're looking to make a name for their school, which Orchard Lake St. Mary's already a legendary school, but they're here to cement their names in the history books as state champions once again, Tyler.
And leave a lasting legacy. This senior class has such a big impact on the history of St. Mary's basketball. Jaden Savory also on the football team that won a state title earlier on in the 2024-25 school year. Trey McKinney and Sherrod Barnes both scheduled to play at Division I colleges and universities next year, with McKinney going to the University of Michigan and Barnes going to be playing at Western Michigan. So this environment is what they embrace. It's such a competitive day for them, trying to take on a one-loss team in their home environment right down the road. I used to go to MSU, famously. I've said it a million times on this program. That's not that long of a walk, maybe 30, 40 minutes from the Breslin to 509 Bircham at East Lansing High School. And it's a really close environment for them. So they get it's essentially a home game for East Lansing, but it's familiar territory for St. Mary's. We'll be there all day, Kevin. You'll have some insight from fans, from the team, from alumni, from the student section. We'll be there with the full environment captured on our website on civiccentertv.com. Anything else from East Lansing?
No, we're just going to continuously get ready. I'm going to stick around, see if I can get some fans, some loyal supporters that we can talk to, and just talk about the experience, the excitement, and the energy as we get ready for Orchard Lake St. Mary's to take on the East Lansing Trojans for the state semifinals. Tyler?
Kevin, thank you so much. Kevin McIntosh will be out there live at the Breslin Student Events Center in East Lansing all throughout the day today as St. Mary's plays in the MHSAA Division I state semifinals today. Should they win against the East Lansing Trojans, they will play again on Saturday at 12:15 against either Flint Carmen Ainsworth or Wayne Memorial High School for all the marbles, the state championship, a chance to make history and bring that history back close to home in Greater West Bloomfield. Last season, after their historic MHSAA Division I state title, I spoke to Orchard Lake St. Mary's head coach Todd Covert, who had really an emotional reaction to ultimately reaching the pinnacle in his coaching career at St. Mary's, bringing these young men that he has led for all this time to that pinnacle and having a chance to do it all again the next year over. Here's our conversation from 2024.
It means everything, outside of my family, my kids, to accomplish this with this group and the manner we did it and how hard it is. And, I've been thinking about this for a long time. I've sat in those rafters. I've sat in Chrysler for decades and dreamed about doing this. And to finally have it come true at, my alma mater is, it's great.
What was the difference maker this season with this team? You got so far last year, you got to the semis. We talked about, getting over that hump earlier on this weekend. What do you think was the game changer in 2024?
I just think their will to win and prepare. Everybody wants to win. Not everyone's willing to prepare, and they put in the time, the energy, the sacrifice to do things when it was hard, to give up things, to sacrifice. That's what they had to do. So,
Coach Covert, bringing that trophy back to Orchard Lake has such a big meaning for this program. First time since 2000, just the fifth in the program's history. But you got a bright future ahead, too. This is a relatively young team that will be coming back, bringing a lot of key players back. What do you say in this moment to them going forward about the work that still has to go in to get back here next year?
Well, it doesn't matter if we have a great team coming back or an okay team coming back or a poor team. We've had all. But it's about representing your school the right way. And, I'm a big believer in high school sports and what it does for kids. And, we're going to enjoy today. But we'll represent our school next year. And where the chips fall, they fall.
Coach, anything else you'd like to say to your alma mater, to the community in Orchard Lake as you bring that title trophy back where it belongs to Orchard Lake schools?
Job finished.
The job was finished in 2024, and as he said, hey, let the chips fall where they may. If we win a title, if we get back to East Lansing, so be it. If not, we will find a way to make our way back home again. And they have. They will be back there again. 12 noon today is the tip-off of their state semifinal in Division I against East Lansing High School. That game will be broadcast by FanDuel Sports Network on MHSAA TV. That is a paid subscription. But if you don't have the subscription, you want to follow along with the Eaglets. You want to get those updates throughout the day and all the big stories that come out of the state semifinals. Follow along with us on our special webpage, civiccentertv.com/Eaglets, or scan that QR code that's on your screen right now. That will take you to that page. And as we post more videos on our YouTube page, across our social media, you will see those in order of the newest to the oldest. So you can follow the journey from the present all the way back to the beginning of our playoff coverage in 2025. civiccentertv.com/Eaglets, or scan that QR code. We'll leave it up there for just another moment. Semifinals today, 12 noon. Finals, if necessary, and it is necessary, on Saturday at 12:15. We're rooting for the Eaglets here in Greater West Bloomfield, and hopefully we'll have a long weekend and another very happy and bittersweet weekend also for some, with Orchard Lake St. Mary's winning the state title, hopefully back-to-back. It would be their sixth title in school history, their second consecutively, the first team to do that in several years in the state of Michigan, and would be their second title, of course, since 2000, and would be, of course, a great culmination. 2 out of 3 of their last trips to East Lansing would have resulted in that case in championships. 2023 lost in the semis, 24 won it all. 25, you'll have to find out with us on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Close to home, next door at the West Bloomfield Township Public Library, a very interesting look back at a critical point in American history that was built in part right here in Greater West Bloomfield and our neighbors in Oakland County. Civic Center TV's Jake Schaff is live at the West Bloomfield Township Public Library with more information. Jake.
Hey Tyler, good morning. I'm standing here live right outside of the West Bloomfield Township Public Library, where starting today they are hosting an incredible exhibit helped to be put together by the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society. It's called the Oakland County Underground Railroad Project, a multi-community project dedicated to showcasing history-based evidence of some ties to the Underground Railroad that take place right across all throughout Oakland County. There's connections to Clarkston, Troy, Royal Oak, and even right here in West Bloomfield. If you walk inside the building, you will see 6 history panels showcasing a depth of history of the Underground Railroad and some of the key players who have ties to cities right here in Oakland County. It's a very informative project that is going to be showcased all throughout the month of March right here at the West Bloomfield Library, and will be showcased in April at West Bloomfield Town Hall. So there will be plenty of chances for the entire community to come out and take a look through history and to learn just what connections truly lie right here in West Bloomfield. Plenty of stuff to see, Tyler, and I'm sure everyone is going to get a lot of information out of it. Back to you.
Appreciate the report, Jake. And the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society will be having an extensive presentation on that on March 26th in the main meeting room at the library, 7:00 p.m. We'll have more coverage of that as well, and this exhibit coming forward on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. So highly encourage you to stick with us on our social media, Facebook at Civic Center TV 15, YouTube, X, and Instagram at Civic Center TV for even more information and coverage on the special exhibit at the West Bloomfield Township Public Library. All throughout the month of March, we are celebrating incredible women doing amazing work in our community and beyond in business and a number of different professional sectors that impact Greater West Bloomfield, the state of Michigan, and the entire world. Someone that's helping with that, in particular with the communications side of building incredible businesses and legacies in our community, is Marjan Parham, who is the owner of Masterminds Communications and joins us now on the Splash Live. Marjan, thank you so much for being with us.
Yes, thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, glad to have you on. You focus primarily in the communications sector and have done so very successfully throughout your career, but that's such a wide-ranging professional field. So take us through what you specialize in and how you help other people improve communications in an age where really that's the number one part of their game.
Right. Well, the thing is, first I started out, my undergrad was in engineering, and then I moved into communications. So I like to let people know that because they're so different. But I use what we call transferable skills to go from engineering, which was kind of centered around automotive, into communications. In engineering, you're taught to do things in a methodical, organized way. And I took a lot of those skills, strategy planning and so forth, and being organized and time management into my communications career. And so right now, I am currently the director over at Michigan Liberation, which is a grassroots organization that is working to end and decrease mass incarceration in the state of Michigan. So, talk about something so different than what I started out, like I said, undergrad in automotive. But it has been so rewarding. We have played a major role in helping over hundreds of people get their record expunged here in the state of Michigan. Also, we're working with helping to end cash bail and decrease it in the state of Michigan as well, and working with various elected officials to get that done and so forth. So it's just been absolutely amazing. So I do everything right now as far as public relations, and this all falls under communications, everyone. So public relations, digital work as far as social media. I have people I work with that help me with that as well. And as you know, in 2025, you got to know some sort of AI strategies. And so that's something that we're learning. And, I've been with Michigan Liberation for almost 5 years. It'll be 5 years this year. And I never would imagine I would be in this role and so forth. And then as far as with my business, I help other entrepreneurs and small businesses and nonprofits, with their branding as well.
And I'd imagine with the work that you're doing more presently with Michigan Liberation, that's got to be a tough gig because it's an issue that is so important to so many people who have made mistakes in recent years or many, many years prior in their life when they were younger and didn't maybe make the best decisions in their lives and are trying to start a new path forward. And so communicating that to people that have their own different opinions about those who have been incarcerated, I'd imagine is quite the challenge. So how have you gone about learning that and then communicating the intricacies of a really complicated issue of that kind?
Right. Yeah, good question. Basically, I hate to say it, that saying, knowledge is power. Not when we were doing expungement fair, but before we started doing expungement fair, like you said, we had to promote it. We had to get the word out that we were doing it. And not only that, but what people's rights were as far as educating people on how to pull up their record in the state of Michigan. For example, going to the MyChart website, the Michigan website, and pulling up their record, or going to the courts and getting an official record. Almost looking at your criminal record as your report card from school, knowing exactly what your final results were. You know what I mean? Some people have no clue what's on their record, or if they even have one. I hate to say that, believe it or not. And what we found is that a lot of people really appreciated the open communication. We would tell people when you come to our expungement fair that, even if you're not eligible, learn why. And maybe take further steps for that and giving them resources to do that. So that's why I go back to knowledge is power. I never, like I said, imagine that I would be in this role. I tell people this career chose me. I didn't choose it. And that's just, I believe, is part of my calling. And, and it's one of the reasons I've been so successful because I love to help people. And this was before I even thought about engineering. I just love to serve and help people. And so go figure now, years later, I'm helping people using my transferable skills to get things done. Like when we was doing expungement fairs, getting the word out through social media or through the media. It was a time where we were having almost hundreds of people coming to our expungement fair every month to get the record expunged.
And as you're making that impact and you're fulfilling that goal of yours to make a positive impact on people while building your own personal successes, how have you embraced that in a way that does ultimately lead to other people having a massive success like you've been able to have wherever they're looking to go in their life, especially when they're facing a challenge like a not so clean record in their past and looking to turn over a new leaf?
Right. Once again, another good question. I mean, not only the people with records, but people without records. I tell people, I was speaking at U of M last week, and I told a lot of the students, you're in a very crucial time in your life. Do what you love, because it will come back, at you. Like I said, I started off engineering, and people always would say, but I see you in PR, I see you in communications, and look where I am years later. I went back and got my master's back in 2015. So I ended up going back, getting the theory, and then, of course, doing the hands-on. But as far as people with records, what I would tell them was the same thing. Don't let this record hinder you from what it is your calling is. I met hundreds of people while we were going through this expungement process. And then, now Michigan is an automatic expungement state. And we played a vital role in getting that done. And we were there at the in Lansing when they announced it and everything, which was awesome, and we celebrated. But there's still people working to get their record expunged. But I tell them, do what you love. I mean, I met so many people who are entrepreneurs. And that's why we were working hard to help them get their records expunged so they could get grants. And there were people who wanted to go to school, and we were helping so they could apply. And there were people who wanted to just get a better job, higher paying job, or get housing. That's huge. And you got to have a place to stay if you're going to work somewhere. So that's why we went the extra mile, not only to help them get their record expunged, but explain to them not only the process of expungement, but also what does your record really say about you? What are some things you might want to maybe contact additional legal assistance for, and so forth, and know later on down the line, So very, very valuable experience. And, and there's been people come to me and say, Ms. Marjan, I thank you so much. Now it was one lady that through some partners we helped. She's now an accountant at a university locally here.
And that's such a great story too, because you're seeing the art of communications turn into ultimately the science of helping people get out of really tough situations that in some ways may be in their controls, but in many other ways are out of their control because of the laws that are in place, the stereotypes that are in place in our society that have grown over the years. And so it's amazing work that you're doing with Michigan Liberation, and we thank you for that. Ms. Marjan Parham is with us, the owner of Mastermind Communications and the director of Michigan Liberation, on today's edition of the Splash Live as we recognize Women's History Month and celebrate wildly successful women making an impact right here in the Greater West Bloomfield area. And you've been able to both pursue an interest in engineering and pursue a dream in helping people with their communication, with their public relations, with issues that matter in our communities. And so for other women that are building their dream, building their business, they have that idea. What do you wish they knew about the process that you wish you would have known earlier on to help you catapult yourself to where you're at today?
Right. I'll be real honest and frank. Do not chase the money. Chase the passion. Yeah. The money will come. Because that's kind of like what I did. I did engineering kind of, it was a safety net. Oh, you'll make great money. And I did. And to believe it or not, I still have another business under engineering. I still do contracting consulting. And it's so funny because and I have another business in communication. So I have Mastermind, and then I have my MNP, which is my initials, engineering. So sometimes people call on me to do certain things in engineering, like audits and so forth. And then I pivot back to communication. So I tell people, follow the passion, because now I'm doing what I love. So it's not work, but I'm getting paid. And that is the the best scenario or situation. And I also tell people it'll fall like dominoes, because now that I'm doing my passion, I'm making the money that I never would dream I would make. I'm now able to spend time with my family, my friends. I do things like self-care, take care of myself. I get massages, go on trips. It's all falling into place because I'm living a balanced life, because I'm following my passion and not something else.
You could work hard, you could have a lot of fun, mix the two together. You're going to be very, very successful in whatever you do. Ms. Marjan Parham is with us on the Splash Live today, talking about her successful turn from an engineer into a communications mastermind from right here in the Greater West Bloomfield area as we celebrate women of significance in our community who are making an impact each and every day. Ms. Marjan, before we let you go, there's so much we can tell. You are very proud. We can see it. We can hear it in your storytelling of your career journey. But ultimately, when you do call it a career, and you are ultimately going to be 100% of the time just Ms. Marjan Parham and not Ms. Marjan Parham professional, what do you hope is your lasting impact on your community?
Oh my, excellent final question. I am big now on self-care and balance. It used to be at times when I first started in my career as an engineer, I have to admit I was a workaholic. It's like so many women. And not only a workaholic, but then also catering to other people's needs and not meeting my own. It's just like what they say when you get on an airplane, put your mask on first before you try to help everybody else. And before, I was helping everybody else, and meanwhile I wasn't getting any oxygen, any type of life. And so now just like I have meetings on my calendar, I have self-care me time. And it's an acronym, mental emotional time, ME. That's where I'll go maybe see my therapist. I see a life coach, and she holds me accountable. And she's located here, like in the West Bloomfield area, Radiant Youth. Shout out to Saritha and her team. I make sure twice a month I see her. Then I go get a massage, at least 60 minutes. And then I go treat myself to dinner. At least those things. So I'm telling you, please put time for yourself. Have a balance. That's one thing I regret. I wish somebody told me, take time for you so you can be a better you to everybody else and your job and your career.
One of the best pieces of advice I ever got was in your calendar, set appointments with yourself, and those are appointments that you cannot miss. That's the what. You gave us a little bit of the how. Thank you so much, Ms. Marjan, for your time today.
Yes. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Ms. Marjan Parham, who is the owner of Mastermind Communications, one of the many very successful women in our community who is not only successful in her own right, but is helping others in our community with their own success and their own journey as well. We thank her for her massive impact in our community and beyond. Additionally, we have highlighted so many other incredible women in our community as a part of our celebration of Women's History Month and most recently International Women's Day. In fact, we put together a very special program. A West Bloomfield resident and a very successful woman in her own right, Thais Leverett, hosted a special talking to many women of significance in the Greater West Bloomfield area, making an impact every single day, who have been wildly successful in their careers and pursuing their dreams, including those who have made an impact in our local government. One of her guests has been a school board member in Bloomfield Hills, has been a township board trustee, and is currently a Greater West Bloomfield Cable Communications Commissioner, serving a group that oversees our operation right here. That is Deb Macon, who recently joined Thais Leverett on her special program for this Women's History Month. Here is their conversation.
And we are here at the Aurora Italiana restaurant in West Bloomfield, Michigan. And we are here talking to influential women in Michigan as we anticipate celebrating International Women's Day in a few days. And I have the pleasure of talking to Ms. Deb Mason. And I am so excited to learn a little bit more about you, talk about you and your journey. So as I ask all of the people I've been talking to today, just tell me in your own words a little bit about yourself, what you do, and what motivates you. I'd love to hear about that.
Oh, thank you, Thais. What a grand question. I'm a longtime resident of Greater West Bloomfield. I live in West Bloomfield Township. And when my family and I moved here, I knew I was looking for a community that gave me an opportunity to grow and develop, as well as my son. At the time, I was in a business career as an accountant, but I knew I needed something else. My son was young, and I made a decision to be part of a number of nonprofit organizations and developed an incredible passion,
Yes.
if you will, for supporting nonprofits, for being part of the public sector. I'm a teacher by heart, and just recently learned something that I'm really delighted to share.
Yes.
Each one, teach one. That is an African American proverb.
Absolutely.
And I was mentored by incredible women in St. Louis, Missouri. And these wonderful mentors actually laid a path out for me and said, here is what we suggest you do.
Wow.
I'm a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority.
I see that.
And these women were legends in St. Louis. And one of the organizations they encouraged me to affiliate with was the League of Women Voters.
Oh, wow.
I have learned so much and am delighted to be able to support others in community work. Professionally, I'm a governance consultant,
Okay.
which means I get to help organizations, help leaders understand how to leverage their leadership capabilities.
That's crucial. That's a very critical skill to master. I want to pause here for a second because you're mentioning St. Louis. So I have family in Florissant, Missouri. That's where my uncle lives. So
Oh my,
I spent many a
geez.
summer in St. Louis visiting my uncle. So I'll be interested in talking more with you about that.
That would be great.
But I love the story that you shared about the women who influenced you
Yes,
to
for
dedicate
sure.
yourself to nonprofit and to giving, because we often look at women mentors and they'll tell us a number of different things. Some will say focus on this, your professional development. Some will say focus on motherhood, but you had influence to focus on giving back.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit more about some of the organizations that you have chosen. I know there are many. We only got a few minutes.
Right.
But there are many, but some of the ones that have been the most influential for you in your service to the community.
You know what, I'm so pleased you said focused on the service aspect, because that is the one reason that I chose Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority as a senior in high school, not even in college yet.
So you knew all in high school.
Exactly. So what that service commitment has meant is literally what are opportunities within the community where I live.
Sure.
And that meant getting involved in the League of Women Voters, understanding what the public policy issues are locally, at a state level, and at a national level. And that opened an incredible door to leadership opportunities at the state and national level within this organization.
That's great.
But I've also focused on contributing to both my school district
Yes.
and my township. And so what that meant, you asked, how do I feel I've been influential? I became a school board member in Bloomfield Hills.
Yes.
And as a school board member, the decisions that the team made together clearly shaped the lives of students and influenced their families.
For sure. So you mentioned that you moved to West Bloomfield a while ago. I'm going to get to that.
Yes.
And that you had your son in tow. Obviously, that influenced some of your decisions to be involved in the school board. I have to ask, what is your son doing now?
My son is a contractor.
Wonderful.
He leveraged his academic learning, but even more importantly, he loves to learn
Yes.
and leveraged the skill set of those he was around. So I remember a younger friend teaching him some of the things that would become basic and standard in his work, and it's really just been a wonderful opportunity to be able to see that.
That's
when
great.
he needs a new skill set, he reaches out and hits the books. Now it's the internet.
Of course, of course. So he knows how to learn through whatever mechanism he needs to use.
Absolutely.
So let me ask you this.
Sure.
If someone is interested in serving as a school board member, we'll start with that. You've done a lot, so you probably can lay the groundwork or create a pathway for many things. But what kind of advice would you give them in terms of how to get involved, and then once they're successful, some expectations that they may have?
You know what? I did not know where our conversation would go, and I'm delighted that it's in this arena because I have worked at that aspect very, very clearly. Getting elected to any position in a community depends on how well connected you are as an individual to the people and the principles and values of that community.
Sure.
So I was the mom who was always there, always willing to be in a supportive role, asking questions, wanting to understand how things work, and ended up in leadership roles within the parent community. And that and my support from friends who knew my volunteer work and community work within West Bloomfield was immensely supportive. And I would be remiss if I didn't say, and I also served for a number of years on the township board here in West Bloomfield.
Oh, interesting.
And those same principles come to play. It's how are you engaged with your neighbors, with your peers? How do you show up?
Right.
And my husband and I each worked on how will we show up for our school and our township community.
That is great.
And there are amazing organizations within Greater West Bloomfield. I'm a co-founder of the Community Coalition, which is supportive of our youth, and most notably, I get a wonderful opportunity to further a 50-plus year tradition with our Greater West Bloomfield Michigan Week.
Wow.
Where we recognize those who've made a difference. And I am so proud of being one of the 12 members of the Greater West Bloomfield Cable Communications Commission. We've had a chance to do some amazing work.
I would love to hear a little bit more about that. So people want to focus on the big guys, you know, the ones in Detroit or Chicago. But tell us a little bit more about the importance of local programming. And how that has shaped community or however you want to go with it. But I'd love to hear just what you think about your involvement in local television and broadcasting.
Now, the commission itself is not the producer.
Right.
We are in an oversight policy role. And that means what policies, what practices have to be in place, what encouragement, what motivation, so that we keep local programming at the center of our work.
Yes.
Literally. We're always the ones asking, or all the voices we need to hear from.
Sure.
In the room. What type of programming? We've done some innovative things. One of our strong partners is the West Bloomfield School District.
Yes.
And football games.
Oh, you know it. You better not miss those.
Absolutely. And the community-based organizations all around our 4 communities count on us to help them show their value, help them connect to their own constituencies. And of course, we're broadcasting the local public meetings.
So important.
We're vigilant about community connections and community education, meaning, are you aware of what is happening? And
Right.
our innovative splash,
Yes.
hyper-local news. We take this very seriously and want to make sure we're reaching out as best we can using all of our wits about us.
Right, right. That's great. Well, with your long-standing legacy, I'm going to call it what it is, legacy in being in this community, what is one of your favorite things about Greater West Bloomfield? Why is this the place to be?
It's the reason I moved here. A real estate agent drove me around the region.
Sure.
And when we drove through West Bloomfield, I had already put West Bloomfield on my list, at the top of my list.
Sure.
I wanted to be present, to be a contributor to a growing and developing community. And it was the people, the people here.
Yes.
Who are open and receptive. And I would be remiss if I didn't say the first opportunity I had for a leadership role in my local school district is because leaders who were there realized they needed to make space for newcomers.
So they didn't close things off. They created an opportunity.
It was the opposite of closed. And
great.
that's what I found in every organization.
That's great.
The Optimist Club, the Historical Society.
All of it.
All of it, absolutely.
That is great. That is wonderful to hear. And I still feel it's probably the same now. I found a home in West Bloomfield, not only a physical home, but a community home. And I feel like I've been embraced wherever I go.
We are delighted, and now that we get a chance to meet, let's just say there are some community events we need to make sure you know more about.
We will definitely be talking.
Absolutely.
So as we close out today, I'll ask one more question of you. So what's one piece of advice you would give, or how would you encourage someone who may be sitting and watching our conversation today, and they don't know how can they get involved more in the community? What's the one thing you would say to them?
Please show up for your community in some way. Reach out to a neighbor, check in with our own Civic Center TV to be able to see what is happening. Show up at one of the events and look for the person with the biggest smile.
Yes.
Who will reach out and connect with you and want to invite you back.
You can watch the entire Thais Leverett Show, our Women's History Month and International Women's Day special on CivicCenterTV.com, as well as on our YouTube page at Civic Center TV. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon for even more original programming and notifications anytime that we go live with this show or other special programs and any videos that we post about your community here in Greater West Bloomfield. We're going to take a short break. On the other side, baseball season is upon us, but close to home, it is a softball team that is making waves. Live, local, social, it's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live. Want to enjoy Civic Center TV on your social media? Find us on Instagram at Civic Center TV. Get notified when we upload one of our interviews, full episodes, and more. Thank you for watching and listening to Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. 2 milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
The sad reality is fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kids should know.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
Bringing you stories and memories from Orchard Lake, Civic Center TV, television that's close to home. And now, back to The Splash, live.
Live, local, social, it's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Welcome back. I'm your host, Tyler Keefe, thanking you for joining us and, as always, for tuning in and following along on our social media, Facebook at Civic Center TV 15. You can also find us on X, on Instagram, and, of course, on YouTube at Civic Center TV. Baseball season is just days away from getting underway in the local area with the Detroit Tigers opening day in the coming days and weeks, and teams all across Greater West Bloomfield getting ready for recreational games and travel league games all throughout the spring and summer. But for those with disabilities, playing America's beloved pastime can be a little bit difficult of a task, especially when it comes to finding a league that is tailored just for them. Luckily, that is where West Bloomfield Parks comes in with their adaptive softball team and softball league, the West Bloomfield Waves. Joining us for more information is recreation programmer with West Bloomfield Parks, Mike Hodgins. Thank you so much for being with us, Mike.
Thanks for having me, Tyler.
Happy to have you on to talk about this. West Bloomfield loves its baseball. They love their recreational sports. So many great places for them to get out and have a little fun in the great outdoors. For those with disabilities, they've got the West Bloomfield Waves, an adaptive softball league. Tell us about the league and kind of how it operates here in Greater West Bloomfield.
Yeah, we're looking to bring West Bloomfield Waves to fruition this season. It's for individuals with cognitive impairments with or without physical disabilities, age 16 and up. Again, we're just looking to expand programming and giving as many people as many opportunities as possible.
And so where did the idea for this league, for this team, come about? Was there a need that was presented for this and a spark of interest from people in this particular subset of our community to have an opportunity to play this game that they love? Or was there some other motivation that came into play that led to forming the West Bloomfield Waves?
Yeah, again, we're just looking to expand programming for as many people as possible. I have colleagues in Waterford that reached out and asked if we would be interested in trying to form a team and join their already settled team. They have teams from Lake Orion, Clarkston, Waterford, and Rochester, and we're looking to get on that as well.
Mike Hodgins is with us from West Bloomfield Parks as they have launched an adaptive softball team for those with cognitive disabilities with or without physical impairments here in the Greater West Bloomfield area. It's for ages 16 and up. They're called West Bloomfield Waves, and you can sign up right now, wbparks.org/WB Waves. And it's friendly competition between our community and neighboring communities like Waterford. So how many players are you looking for, and what's the outlook right now with the team in terms of everything coming together to get ready to play our friends in Waterford?
Yeah, we need at least 12 individuals that are looking forward to play. We can take a max of 20. If we get more than that, we're even willing to do 2 different teams. With that comes we need some help with getting volunteer coaches as well, which parents are more than welcome to be involved. And yeah, we're looking forward to it. It will be on Thursdays, 6:30 to 8, June to August is what we're looking for right now.
And you're not only looking for players, too. What are some additional needs that will help to make the West Bloomfield Waves a successful team and successful program launching in 2025?
Yeah, in order for us to make a real splash this summer, we're looking to get parents, coaches, aides, siblings that are looking to help out, have some fun if others aren't able to make that night. Again, just getting out there, having a good time, and enjoying competing and having fun, enjoying the game of softball.
And ultimately, this goes back to a continued effort with West Bloomfield Parks to provide more inclusive programming for a variety of our different communities within the Greater West Bloomfield area. So how does that fit that vision, especially when it comes to the recreation side of what West Bloomfield Parks does on a daily basis?
Yeah, as a recreational programmer and working for WB Parks, we're always looking for ways to expand our programming so everyone can enjoy recreational activities and doing what they are interested in.
More information can be found on wbparks.org/WBWaves. Again, that's wbparks.org/WBWaves. If you are interested in joining this program, know someone that might be interested. It's for those 16 and up with cognitive disabilities and or physical disabilities as well. They will be playing surrounding communities, including our friends over in Waterford, Thursdays, 6:30 p.m. until 8 p.m. About 10 games at most throughout the season that will begin in June. Mike, anything else that we haven't discussed yet about this new team in Greater West Bloomfield that would be important for people to know as they get ready to sign up?
Yeah, just if this sounds good to you, make sure you go on and sign up that interest form, and we'll reach out. Again, we're looking to get this started this year and continue this going on for many more years. So just the start of it.
Well, we appreciate you joining us to tell us about this. It's an exciting new recreational adventure for people in the Greater West Bloomfield area that are able to play a game that they love, get that baseball, that Detroit Tigers sort of experience at Drake Sports Park and so many other areas throughout Greater West Bloomfield and beyond, and get to be part of a fantastic team this summer. Mike, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Tyler. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you as well. More information on the West Bloomfield Waves adaptive softball team and program can be found on wbparks.org/WBWaves. And of course, if you follow West Bloomfield Parks on their Facebook page at WB Parks, you'll find even more about their summer programs, both recreation programs, recreational sports leagues, live events for the whole family and for both adults and kids specifically as well. Facebook at WB Parks. We'll take another break on the Splash Live. Plenty more to get to, including some tasty treats that are being sold by entrepreneurial kids right here in the Greater West Bloomfield area. Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live. Bringing you stories and memories from Sylvan Lake, Civic Center TV, television that's close to home.
1 in 4 Michigan homes has high levels of radon, a naturally occurring radioactive gas known to cause lung cancer. It doesn't matter where you live or what type of home you have. You won't even know it's there unless you test. So don't wait. Testing is cheap and easy. And if there's a problem, it's simple to fix. Visit michigan.gov/radon to learn more.
We took action. Will you?
When you have a gambling problem, you have a money problem. Don't let your gambling cause you financial hardship. If you or someone you love is struggling with gambling, we can help. Get free confidential counseling and win your life back. Learn more at michigan.gov/problemgambling.
I'm Gina Gregory, president of the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society. I'm excited that Civic Center TV has reached 1 million views on YouTube. Congratulations. That's just terrific. We appreciate everything Civic Center does for the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society and the community. For us, they promote and highlight our events. It's awesome to have them available 24/7 on YouTube. I'm Gina Gregory and proud to be one in a million.
And now, back to The Splash, live.
Live, local, social, it's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host, Tyler Kieft. Thank you so much for joining us. Close to home here in Greater West Bloomfield, the Girl Scouts are helping young girls in our community learn both leadership skills and even some business skills. Of course, we know that they sell cookies during Girl Scout cookie season, and they go out on a number of different trips and adventures together all throughout the year. But we got an inside look at some of their efforts right here in Greater West Bloomfield with one of our local Girl Scout troops. Civic Center TV's Kevin McIntosh has the story.
Girl Scouts Day was recently recognized across the country, and here in West Bloomfield, Troop 77713 is marking the occasion by launching their Silver Award Recycling Project. These young leaders have been working hard to create a recycling hub here at West Bloomfield Middle School, with plans to expand it to the community later this spring. We'll take a closer look at their project, the inspiration behind it, and how they're making an impact one recycled item at a time.
Well, we first started because of our Silver Award, and I really cared about recycling because not a lot of people do it.
My inspiration was I was looking around the school and I saw that a lot of people would just throw away their paper, and I know that in school you get you need a lot of papers, so I decided that one of the ideas would be recycling.
The girls are seeking a Silver Award, the second highest honor in Girl Scouts. After receiving the Bronze Award for their merits, I asked Cadet Reagan Lease what the Silver Award means to her.
Silver Award means doing something big for the community that helps it a lot and is sustainable.
In order for this project to happen, it took the cooperation of their Troop 77713 leader, Kelly Hoffman, and West Bloomfield Middle School Assistant Principal, Cindy Carson, who told me about supporting the troop, their project, and collaboration.
It's just incredible. I've been leading these girls since kindergarten, and just to watch them grow and move forward and take on this project has just been inspiring. I've just been here guiding them, and they've really taken the lead and made it what it is today.
Well, one of our missions here is definitely to collaborate and communicate and be contributors to the greater community. So this is a perfect opportunity for these girls to put that into practice by working with the community to get the word out that paper recycling is important. Here we are in 2025. It's still a big deal. And believe it or not, since we've been in this building, we have not been recycling paper. So this is our third year being in the building. So we're super excited to finally bring this on board and make a difference.
With a project this important, there is a lot to manage. Cadets of Troop 77713 talked to us about what they learned during the process and what they hope others take away.
That you really have to get the whole community involved, and it really helps for anyone. For anyone to help, it really helps the community and us for the program.
I learned that there's a lot that goes into making something happen. Making a club, you need a lot of more other people than what you think you would.
I hope they take away that Girl Scouts can do anything and they can help the community as much as they can, and they are amazing.
Recently celebrating National Girl Scout Day, we asked this Greater West Bloomfield troop what being a Girl Scout means to them.
Being a Girl Scout means helping the environment as much as you can, being a sister to every Girl Scout, being kind, and being respectful.
It means that you try and help everyone you can. If you see someone that needs help, you help them, and you're just kind to everyone.
These Girl Scouts are making a difference in our Greater West Bloomfield community. Their Silver Award Recycling Project is just getting started, and with their passion and dedication, it's sure to leave an impact. From the West Bloomfield Middle School, I'm Kevin McIntosh, Civic Center TV.
Appreciate the report and appreciate the hard work being done by our local Girl Scout troops. Congratulations to them on their accomplishments, and hopefully we'll see more of their successes in the near future. A little bit further away from home, of course, the big successes we're hoping for today is a state championship appearance for Orchard Lake St. Mary's boys basketball. At 12 noon today, they will be tipping off against the East Lansing Trojans for a chance to go back to the MHSAA Division I state finals, which the Eaglets won in 2024 against North Farmington. Despite the tip-off being at noon, we'll have coverage for you all throughout the day, including post-game coverage and a little bit both before and during the game as well. Scan that QR code that's on your screen as we speak, or go to civiccentertv.com/Eaglets for our continued coverage all throughout the day. Or your other option, stay tuned and join us again on Monday for even more coverage of Orchard Lake St. Mary's, and next week for West Bloomfield girls basketball playoff coverage as well. Big thank you to everybody that joined us on today's program, as well as our dedicated crew, Calvin Brown and Ryan Younglove at Master Control, as well as Kevin McIntosh in East Lansing and Jake Schaff out at the West Bloomfield Township Public Library. Live, local, social, this has been The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.